Hello, D-Rock here, UFirst Outdoors. Welcome to the channel. Hope you all are well. Today, episode 2, we're going to be discussing more lures and some catfish bait for Lake Powell. So, join me. Let's get started. So I know that everyone has their favorite techniques and lures for Lake Powell. I'm simply just highlighting some of the ones that we use and we have success with. So to start off with, I recently did a winter fishing trip for striper and I did very well. I was very surprised because my prior experience in Lake Powell in the wintertime has not been very good. So what I used was some nice jerk baits, and both the ones I used, I specifically used these two. They did very well. Now this one right here, let's get up in the sun a little bit so you can see it. It's got a little rust in there because of the beads, but this is the XRM series made by Reaction Strike, 100 MD. This dives 6 to 10 feet and it's 4 inches. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is the lure that did the trick. You can see that the hooks are beat, totally beat. And I had a backup here. I also purchased another one in a different color, so I didn't use this one, but this color I did and did well with. Next was the Rapala Deep Shad, and a little smaller, probably 3 inches or so, what, 3.5, and a little shallower too, not quite 10 feet. I think this is 5 to 6 feet, and once again you can see the hooks were totally beat up, but this one did very well also. This one seemed to do better when the sun finally broke out from the clouds. As you can see, it's a little more shinier, I guess, and man, they tore this one up as well. So what I'm going to do, these lures are still good but the hooks are beat, is I'm going to switch out the hooks, because a lot of times the hooks that come with the lures just really aren't worth much. And it says on the package here that they use katana hooks. Well, the katana hooks for the XRM, the Reaction Strikes, really took a workout from the stripers. So I'm going to switch them out with Owner Stinger treble, and these are size 4. They look just about the right size, a little beefier, very sharp. So I'm going to switch out the hooks and continue to use these lures on the next Lake Powell trip. So I don't specifically troll these. I'll pitch these too if I see a school or whatnot. I think in a boil or something these would work very well. And as far as trolling goes, speed wise, pretty fast. I like to go, between 2,400 RPMs. I don't know what that is in miles per hour because my speedometer's broke, but it tends to elicit an aggressive strike if it's moving a little faster, in my experience. Of course, your miles may vary on that. So how many of you fish for catfish on Lake Powell? If you do, don't be shy about putting any tips or tricks in the comments below, because I want to know. So my luck with catfishing is okay. It's not great. It's kind of something I do in the middle of summer when it gets really hot. They seem to be fairly more active at that time, but I could be wrong. It's not something I specifically do, but that could change because from what I understand, there are some pretty big catfish in there and they're actually quite good to eat. But I've done well with just the Berkeley power bait catfish, and then I've tried some of this magic bait and that's done the tricks too. I've also used sliced hot dogs, package of ballpark hot dogs, a couple bucks, got some action as well. And also here, shrimp do extremely well. And for fishing for the catfish, it's pretty simple. I'll just use a 3-way rig, line off the hook, line off a weight here, and then your main line, of course. Or I'll just fish the bottom, straight on the bottom, and that's done well. I've also tried to use some of this dough bait chicken liver. You can see it comes in a plastic container there, and man, let me tell you, and use it with this style. You just mush it all in there. You got a big treble hook and it's just a nasty mess. So kind of shied away from doing that. It really, I just It's one thing dealing with the stank ass anchovies, but you know, when you do the catfish mush like that too, ugh. But the power bait nugs have worked well, and like I said, hot dogs. So you know, hey. All right, moving right along. Another lure that's done pretty darn good is the hula type lures here. As you can see, this is a Gary Yamamoto 4-inch DT H grub, hula grub, and then got a Berkeley. This is called Bearded the Deuce, big Texan breen. Bit of a size difference there, as you can see. And I'll fish these two ways. For something like this, I can use a smaller jig head. I like to pair it, of course, with something bright orange, bright green chartreuse, and that'll do well. And for something sizable as this, I can also do a jig head. That works just as good, but sometimes I'll go weedless, and I'll just do Texas style. I'll do a smaller offset shank worm hook like this style here, size 1, and then I'll pair it with a smaller weight. This is oh, what is this, 1/8 ounce here, and that'll get me weedless. And I've caught a really nice sized bass off this style here, and I've done well with smallies and striped bass, everything like that, and the lake as well with these style. So these are something to consider as well. I know a lot of people have hula grubs as their favorite for Lake Powell. It's not something I specifically use all the time, but I do have them and will utilize them when you know, some of the other lures aren't working. So there you have it, folks. Just a few more lures and some catfish bait that has worked well for us over the years at Lake Powell. Hopefully this helps, and I'll also put a link to the recent Lake Powell fishing video, the winter striper fishing, up here, and also in the video description as well, a link to the playlist for those Lake Powell videos. Man, can't wait to get back out there. Still recovering from a bit of a nasty cold, but I'll continue doing these lure highlights as well as we go along. And just want to give a shout out to our subscribers. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Also our patrons, we appreciate you very much. That being said, hope you all are well. Thank you for watching Tight Lines. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.